Hi everybody, welcome. I've pressed the button to go live and I think it's coming. It says that I'm offline, but I have a feeling that I'm online. So here goes. I'm absolutely delighted to be with you today. My screen is still showing me that I'm offline, so if you can tell me whether you're there, out there with me, that would be wonderful. I didn't want to let another week go by without doing another live stream. So I'd very much like to welcome you here today. We're here. Yes, it's a great pleasure to be with you. Thank you for joining me. So you're all coming through and it's very exciting. So I have to, I wanted to do a series here of videos about the language of astrology. Because astrology is a language. And as you know, with a language, it takes a long time to really get the nuances, the subtleties, the depth of a language. Yeah, you can speak often the basics, like I think I'm quite good at basic Greek, but I can't tell jokes in Greek yet. I can really only tell reasonable jokes in English. And even then, Americans don't usually get my jokes, because American jokes are quite different from English jokes. So the language of astrology is very complex, no different than learning Chinese or Swahili or any kind of try you out with a joke, shall I? Well, I don't know that this is a joke, but the thing that comes to mind this week, actually, I was in a meeting, and it was a big hall, and there were people downstairs, and I was sitting upstairs, and I had this book. I had a big, quite heavy hardback book. Can't believe I'm telling a story, but okay, been asked to tell it. I'll tell it. Big heavy book. And there was like a ledge, and I was on the front row, and we were sort of standing up, sitting down, cheering. There was a lot going on, and I sat down, and by mistake my elbow just hit the book off the edge and my book went flying down into the what you might call the stalls area, and of course I wanted to hide, you know, for fear that I was going to kill somebody with the book. Luckily it didn't, but the people downstairs thought it was hilarious, of such a funny thing that I did. So embarrassment. Now where would that come in a chart? You see, for every single word, telling a joke, where does that come in a chart? Embarrassment, where would you find that? Every single word that you have in the language, you can find astrologically. So if you like, astrology is able to be translated into every language. It's universal. For me, astrology is like music. It is the music of the stars. So how can we understand the music of the stars? How can I relay to you my knowledge? And believe me, okay, I've been doing it for more than 40 years now. But the topic today is the houses. As I've said in the title of this video, the topic is the houses. Because there are 4 foundations to astrology that I see, right? Almost like the north, the south, the east, and the west. So, what do you need? First of all of you will know your sign. So we've got the signs. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Yeah. Who have we got today? Come on, guys. Who's an Aries? Who's Taurus? Oh, we've got a triple Cancer. Great. Who's Gemini? What have we got? We're here and there and everywhere. Love it. So you know the signs. So we've got 12 signs of the zodiac. We've got 10 planets. Great. We've got a few Taurians here. Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo. Great. Everybody. Librans. Great. Cancers are out in force. Libras, Pisces, Geminis. Great. I just want to say, actually, try not to get upset about these things, but usually for the 12 signs, it's great. I love it. You're all telling me your signs. Fabulous. I usually get roughly the same number of views. Like for January, it's pretty much a similar number of views per sign. But for February, there's 3 signs, and I know one of them is my fellow Librans. Hardly any of you are watching. So do check out your February forecast, please, because I can't remember. I know Libra is one of them, but you're not watching, and I think they are interesting forecasts coming up. We're not far off coming into February now. Can you believe it? So we've got the signs. You all know your signs. We've got the planets. The Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. The signs, the planets, the houses are where you put everything. It's like if you didn't have places to put things in your house, you'd have things all over. You'd have your kitchen things mixed up with your bathroom things, mixed up with your bedroom. Yeah, you want to be able to put things into places. So if you like, the houses are the filing cabinet of astrology where we put certain elements. All right? So houses, signs, planets, and then we've got the aspects that these various planets make to one another in the different signs, in the different houses. So if you like, those are the 4 important elements of astrology. Today I'm going to take a tour around the houses. I'm probably only going to touch the surface of it because I could speak for, say, 3 hours on the first house alone and go through a tremendous amount of information just on that. But what I want to do today is to be able to give you the overview so that then we can go into more detail over a series of videos, because I think this could be interesting to do a series of videos going more deeply into the houses and what the planets mean in the houses and what they mean for you. So really valuable would be for you to get your chart. If you don't have your chart, you can go to my website. I'm just putting it in now. And get a free report by entering your date, time and place of birth, and you can get your own chart. Many of you will know your chart, but for those of you who don't, great. Now, first thing I'm being asked a few times, what house system do I use? There are many house systems in astrology. I learned on the equal house system. The equal house system has all the houses into equal pieces of a pie. So if you can imagine a pie, and it's all got the same size pieces. Nobody gets a bigger piece than another person. But the system that I use now, and have been doing for many, many years as a professional astrologer, is Placidus system. I think that this is more advanced, and I will go into more details of the different systems for those of you that want to join me. Maybe we could do a Facebook group if you like. We could do a Facebook live group where I go into more detail about this. Okay. Thank you for those of you who once again are supporting me by saying please like the video. It really does help if you like the live stream while it's happening. I do believe that the YouTube algorithm then passes that out to more people. So, the houses. The houses are the areas of life experience. The first house. Who knows if you've got, and the first house would also be covering the ascendant. All right, so whatever your ascendant is, if you know your ascendant, it's very much associated with the first house. And the first house is associated with birth, being born, coming into the world. So whenever somebody has planets in the first house, this is usually somebody who likes to take the initiative, likes to be the first, wants to be able to do something themselves, doesn't like a lot of interference from anybody else. So the first house is about your personal development. It can also cover your physical characteristics. Sometimes you'll see physical signs of somebody's first house. So let's take some examples. The first house is ruled by Mars energy. It's a Mars energy, it's a forward momentum energy. So often people, depending on the planets, people with a lot of planets in the first house usually have to be self-employed or be very innovative, initiate themselves. Also, they often need to be very physical, doing things, physically active. It's not a very sedentary part of the chart. It's an active part of the chart. The first house is also where new beginnings happen. When transits come round into your first house, something new can happen in your life, a new cycle, a new beginning. So that's the first house. I realize I've got a lot of houses to get through, and as I said, we could do several hours on one house. Do the 12 houses correspond to the 12 signs in character? Yes, they do. Each house corresponds to Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Yes, they go round in terms of vibrational frequency. Although you may not have Aries in the first house, planets in the first house behave in an Aries fashion. So, you're asking me complex questions here, Joseph. Thank you for the question. But conjunctions like Lilith, that's going to get more advanced. We're going to have to cover that in an advanced series. I am putting together, there will be a paid series, but that's going to be much longer and more in depth. And I'll probably do a webinar on that first. So you'll be able to interact with me. We can look at your own personal charts. I'd love some feedback if you are interested in me doing webinars and teaching online, looking at your charts as examples. Please let me know. So, first house is about me, my personal growth, my personal development, reaching out into the world. The second house ruled by Taurus, ruled by Venus, rules your money, your possessions, your values. So we look to that second house as to somebody's earning potential, because the second house is your own earning, how much you can make. And it's also associated with your values, your value of yourself. Yes, if you value what you're doing, then chances are you can probably charge a lot of money for what you do. Thank you. I can see there is some demand for the webinar. Thank you. So, second house planets are ruled by Venus, so the second house will show your spending habits. It'll show whether you are a spender or a saver. It'll show whether you're good at budgeting or the money just disappears. And great question, thank you, Nini girl. What if your house is empty? Then it will be activated by progressions and transits. Thank you, great question. And if all the planets are in the house are activated when a transit comes around, yes. They're activated by conjunction, also by opposition, but again we're going into more complex land here, but they are certainly activated by transits and progressions. So, how do you tell where your first house is? These are great questions. Thank you for these questions. Yeah, I'm really supposing that you would understand. So I'm just going to draw a chart very roughly here. Okay, right, so this is the wheel of the chart, and as you can see here, this is the ascendant, and so the first house is here. This is the first house. This is the first house here. Okay, I'm holding it up again. Unfortunately, there is a time lag between when I do something and when it shows for me. So I'm a little bit ahead of the time curve here. But that is your first house. And the houses go round this way. Okay. These are great questions. Really good questions. If most houses sit at 29 degrees. Valerie, great question. Going to have to cover that in a webinar or something a little more in depth. But thank you. So, second house has everything to do with self-esteem, money, and values. Third house. The third house is ruled by Gemini, has a Gemini feeling, Mercury energy, and the third house has to do with communication, with speech, with talking, with networking. It would rule your neighbours, the people close by to you. It rules learning and studying. So people with lots of planets in the third house often are lifelong studiers. They love learning. They love teaching. Often it's the house of writing as well. Many writers have got third house planets, or good aspects to the third house. Does the moon in the first have a special meaning? Yes, every planet has a special meaning. Thank you, Josie. Moon in the first often can mean that people really trust you. They have a sense that you're trustworthy and you're a good listener. Depends on the moon, depends on the degree and the aspects to it. Sorry, everything always has a depend. It's a bit like, I'm talking about a language again. As I said, astrology is a language. So often, and you're asking me questions here, and often somebody will say to you, well, what's the context of your question about the language? Yeah, I might say, how do I use this word in Greek? And somebody will say, well, give me the sentence. So astrology at the moment, I'm giving you words. I'm giving you key words. If you don't have planets in a particular house, please do not worry about it. It does not mean that this area is a blank area for you. It will certainly be activated in different ways. We would then look to the ruler of the house. And again, that's a little more complicated, and we'll come to that when I get with some of you who want to go more deeply into the astrology. So third house, speaking, communicating, learning. And it will show as well how you like to learn. Whether you are an oral learner, a visual learner, whether learning is difficult for you, whether it's easy, how you could make it easier, where the challenges are. Astrology is so rich. When I speak about it now, I realize that it's got so much depth to it. But as long as today I'm giving you key words, the key words are enough for you to get some traction. They're enough for you to be able to ride the donkey up the hill going into Santorini, for example, where there's no transport. You've got to get the donkey when you get off the bus. So you will be able to go up. How do you find your houses? Go to my website, get your free I'm not putting it again, it's further up in the comment box. yourastrologysigns.com, free report, and enter in your details and it'll come up. Ryrin, thank you. I'm sorry I can't say it, but thank you for your support, for supporting my channel. Thank you. Really, really matters, and it means a lot to me. Thank you. So now, the 4th house. Giddy up, donkey. Yes. The 4th house. The 4th house ruled by Cancer, is a Cancerian feel, has to do with your home, your family. It's the bottom of the chart. So this is the 4th house. The 4th house here at the bottom of the chart. So this is your foundation. It rules real estate. It rules property, tangible properties. Where is my Teddy? Oh, my Teddy's in the other room. Yes, he's good. Thank you. And 4th house has to do with your security, your stability, your insecurities. It will show your kind of upbringing. It will show your family background. Oh, it's got so many, it's got a richness to it. It'll show your ancestry, potentially, in the 4th house. The 4th, the 8th, and the 12th houses are very deep houses. You can keep digging and digging and digging, and you'll find more and more in those houses. They're the water houses. And if you think water, yes, you kind of can't get to the bottom of water. Yeah, it doesn't sort of stop. Yeah, if you're going deeper and deeper and deeper, it's like it's unfathomable. And if a house is empty, do not worry about it. It may mean that you don't have big issues in this life area. But we have to look to the ruler of that house, the planetary ruler, and then see what aspects that planet is making in your chart, and then we'll get a feeling as to what happens in your home and family. Thank you, Christy. Exactly right. So, and transits to the 4th often can indicate a move of home, a move of country, relocating. The 5th house has to do with children, has to do with romance, has to do with creativity, has to do with self-employment. So when I see a lot of planets here, this is somebody who really needs to be self-employed, usually. It's often somebody who's very creative, somebody who might want to go into acting, entertaining, or be involved with children and young people. If you've got an unaspected planet, that's another story, that's another video, unaspected planets. I'm going to be doing all of this, I promise, because I really want to share with you the important parts of astrology in an easy way. That's what I want to do. That's my goal here, is for you to be able to see, connect with astrology, the basics of it, and be able to have the seeds so then you can water them and have them grow. Because once you've got keywords, let's say, for example, keyword, 5th house. I haven't got a video on progressions, but I will do one, Jennifer, thank you. Let's say you've got the sun in the 5th house. Does anybody know? Let's have any example. Who's got the sun in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th house? Anybody of you know that, please? Let's just deal with an example. Sorry, there's a slight delay here, so I'll wait for it to come through. Please don't worry, Diana. If a house is empty, it may mean that you don't have many challenges this lifetime in that life area. It may mean that it's an easier area for you. Great, thank you, David. Sun in the 5th house in Pisces, okay? Sun in the 5th house. So, Sun in the 5th house indicates somebody, in my view, who is very creative. And especially if it's in Pisces, I would imagine you are exceptionally creative. David, would that be right? Laura, Sun in Taurus in the 5th house. So this is somebody who is very practical, but who needs to channel your practicality into something that is inspiring. Fifth house needs to have inspiration in your life. I would also imagine you'd be very good in business. Sun in Taurus in the fifth, depending on the aspects, could be very good in business. I'm getting a million questions here, and now this can get all out of hand, of course, when we go into these aspects. I'm going to ask you, please, you guys, Andre, Sun in the first in Virgo. I mean, yeah, they're all coming through, and they're all going fast. So, join me for webinars. I promise I'm going to do a webinar. If you could, in fact, sign up for my free newsletter. On my website, you can sign up for, I have a free newsletter, and I will do a poll on my website about the videos that you want on astrology, videos and webinars that you would like, the subjects you'd like, and I'll take the highest poll and I'll do those first. All right, so that's the next journey here. The sixth house. The sixth house is the Virgo house, ruled by Virgo. You may not have Virgo there, but the sixth house has to do with work. So somebody who's got the sun in the sixth usually is quite devoted to work. It's also to do with your physical health, physical well-being. So physical well-being, somebody who likes to study health. Very often people with a lot of planets in the sixth go into the medical profession, especially if Saturn is there. That's another story. So often with people in the sixth house, they have to volunteer to contribute, to help in some way. A great love of being of service. The seventh house. The seventh house, now we're balancing all these houses. So now we're moving to the upper part of the chart. Okay, we're moving to the 7th to the 12th houses. We've been down the bottom houses, the 1st to the 6th, and now we're working with the opposites. So we work with the 1st and the 7th house. They work in pairs. So the 7th house, the 1st house is you, so it's me, myself. Who am I? My physical characteristics. And the 7th house is my partnerships, my relationships, the people I interact with. So if somebody's got a lot of planets in the 7th, chances are they're going to have a lot of learning experiences in relationships. Sun and Venus in a... You're asking deep questions, Olivia, but I'll answer that Sun in the 7th, it could be a great romance, yes, if it's if Venus is there as well. Depends on the aspects. Again, it's not enough on their own. If you've got Moon in Pisces in the 7th, thank you, Andre, this means that you're probably a good listener and you're very sensitive in relationships. You could be easily disappointed, depends on the aspects, but you're also looking for that soulmate, that perfect relationship. So the 7th house has everything to do with how you interact in relationships. The sign on the cusp of the 7th, it's important to look at the ruler of that 7th house. If you don't have planets there, it will show the kind of person you're going to be attracted to. Thank you very much, Saggy Susanna, for your generous support of my channel. I really appreciate it. I've had quite a lot of negative feedback when I thank people who are contributing to my channel, but I'm sorry if that upsets you. I like to thank people for being generous, and it doesn't take me off my track. I'm completely with the 7th house. I know exactly where I am, and if anything, keeps me more on the track. So thank you for bearing with me. It's like anything, when somebody holds the door open for you, it's nice to say thank you, isn't it? If I hold the door open for somebody, I don't have an expectation that they have to say thank you, but it's nice if they do. If you let somebody in before you in the car, whatever, let's give space to be courteous, because the 7th house has to do with the Libra house, and it has to do with appreciating somebody else, appreciating somebody. There's so much to say, and I have to curb myself for wanting to share more with you about these different astrological aspects. But okay, I'm curbing my excitement here. I'll put it into webinars and more videos, promise, if you'd like. The 8th house. So the 8th house is the Scorpio house. The 8th house has to do with sex, yes, death, rebirth, regeneration. The 8th house shows where you regenerate yourself. The 8th house is the house of intimacy, is the house of trust. Can be the house, it's ruled also by Mars and Pluto. So Mars would be the sexual energy, but also it's the house of psychology, of getting to the bottom of things, of mysteries. It's also the house of taxes and other people's money. So the 2nd house, remember that the houses come in pairs. So the 1st and the 7th is you and your relationships. The 2nd and the 8th, I think that's the 8th, yeah, is you, your money, the 2nd house. The 8th house, other people's money. So other people's resources. The 9th house. The 9th house is the Sag house. And again, we've got these pairs again. So the 3rd house has to do with early education. The 9th house has to do with higher education. It's higher up. The 3rd house has to do with speech and communication and learning. The 9th house has to do with teaching and sharing information far and wide. The 3rd house has to do with languages. The 9th house has to do with anything that is international. Sending something far and wide, international, connecting up on the widest scale. That's why to me the 9th house would rule something like space travel. Interesting, the 9th house rules the law and courts. So if I'm looking at something to do with a court issue and a legal issue, I would be looking at the 9th house, actually. The 10th house. The 10th house is the Capricorn house. And we're looking here at a pair of houses again, the 4th and the 10th. 4th and 10th, 4 here and 10. So we're looking at the balancing of your home, your family, your parents, and the 10th house, your ambitions, what you want to achieve out in the world, your destiny, what you are working towards. So somebody with a lot of planets in this 10th house, chances are is quite ambitious. Do you have to have planets in the 10th to be ambitious? No, not at all. But if you do, chances are you want to achieve something. The 10th house has to do with your public persona, being out there in the public, being seen. And sometimes, but not always, politicians have quite a few planets in the 10th, but not always. The 11th house. So again, we've got a pair of houses. We've got the, sorry, I can't see them very well here, the 5th house and the 11th house. 5 and 11 for those of you looking at your charts. So the 5th house has to do with my gifts, my special gifts, my creative talents, what inspires me, what is fun for me, what is play for me, what I enjoy, what I love. And the 11th house is those gifts that I bring to the world, the gifts that I share. And that's why the 11th house has to do with community. It's our global community, it's the internet, it's the Aquarian house. It's the house that connects us all. Thank you, Randy, very, very much for your generous contribution. So the 11th house has to do with your dreams and wishes, but this has to do with dreams and wishes that you now bring out into the world. And as we move into this Aquarian age, this 11th house, it would be very good to, if you've got planets in the 11th, great. That will describe how you may want to contribute to this Aquarian age. If you don't have planets in the 11th, we'll look to the ruler of the 11th and the aspects that that planet makes. And also your Uranus in the chart will show where you are going to make this unique difference as we move into this age of Aquarius. It's very, very exciting. And then we've got the 12th house. So again, another pair. We're looking at the 6th and the 12th houses, pair of houses. So the 6th house has to do with work, physical health and well-being, and service to others. And it's out in the world. And the 12th house has to do with mental health. This is the house of asylums and hospitals and passing out of the world, life and death. It's a little different from the 8th house. The 8th house has to do very much with dying but transforming and being reborn very often, whereas the 12th house has to do with just releasing, letting go, surrendering. It's also a very esoteric place in the chart. It's a very hidden place. It's a place where of laboratories, of studying in secret. It's the house of secrets as well. Thank you very much, Diana, for your generous contribution. So it's a house where you withdraw from the world. Yeah, if you can imagine, you've gone around all these houses. Yeah, you've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way around. And 12, it's like, oh, I'm knackered now. I just need a break. So often when you've got big transits going through this 12th house, it's a time of letting go. It's a time of surrender. It's a time of just accepting. And then when you begin the 1st house again, off you go again. That's a new birth. It's a new rebirth. So once a year, you will have the sun crossing your ascendant. Once a year it'll come round. And it's like having another birthday time. So you get one birthday, but for me, I love this. Astrologically, you get 2 birthdays. Unless, of course, you've got the sun on the ascendant, you'll have it all in one go. But few people have that. So it's been quite a journey around the houses today. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. There's a lot more to say, but what I want you to have here are the keywords. So now, little test. Let's do a test, see how well you're listening. Gina, thank you very, very much for your generous contribution. Thank you. Chiron in the 12th, we haven't covered Chiron, but just to say Chiron in the 12th would mean that you help people. You are an innate healer, tremendous healing ability to be able to help people on the deepest of levels. So, test time. Can't get away with this. Keywords. That's what you need in this, in the language of astrology. If you've got keywords, you are laughing. So the 1st house. Okay, guys, I want a minimum of 3 keywords. Off you go. Type it in, please. Keywords for the 1st house. Happy 2nd birthday. Sun on your ascendant, Maytap. Keywords 1st house. I know there's a slight delay, so I'd like 3 keywords from as many. Self, thank you. Me, great, thank you. Self, self-image. Me, myself, and I, very good. Birth, Clara, thank you. Diane, thank you. Greatly appreciate. Paula, thank you. Your personality, yourself, your birth, your identity, your appearance, your individuality. Yes, great, you guys. You've been listening, haven't you? I'm super impressed. Okay, great. So all you have to do is, if you see somebody with sun in first house, you go, right, okay, my beauty, yes, it would also describe your beauty. Your identity, yes, excellent. Okay, your body, yes, you being born, excellent. You got it. All right, guys? So those keywords give you new beginnings. Yes, it does. Give you the essence, right? Once you've got the essence, you can add to it. You can add things. So that's the first house. Right, guys, second house. What do you know about the second house? 3 keywords minimum. Go for it. Yes, 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 that's all right. You haven't missed the class. We're on the second house now, and you can learn. Gail, thank you very much for your generosity. Thank you. Money, values, self-esteem, stability, how you spend money, earning potential. Very good, guys. Venus energy. Food, yes, food can come into the 2nd and the 4th houses, sometimes the 6th. 2, 4 and 6. 4, money goes a lot of places. Possessions, values, money. Excellent. Great. You see how you've got it, guys? You just need these key words. So you can say, right, I've got transit into the 2nd house. What's happening with my finances? What's happening with money? Savings. Yes, it rules your savings. Excellent. Your priorities, your values. Budgeting. Yay, guys. Yes. Material assets. Don't worry about empty houses, guys. They're going to get filled. Your talents. Yes. Thank you. It can mean property. It usually means physical money and not so much property in terms of real estate. Real estate is the 4th house. Okay? Fabulous. Excellent. Your worth. Yes. All right, guys. The 3rd house. Key words, please. Keywords. Saturn in the 2nd can be very good once you get over your feeling of not being quite good enough. 3rd house, keywords. Go for it, guys. Communication, yes. Studying, learning, language, education, early education, writing, siblings. Wow, you guys are great. Yes. Neighbors. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Wow. Woo! If you haven't got planets, it doesn't matter in a house. It's still going to be activated. Yes. Communications. How you learn. Your intellectual orientation. Wow. You guys are very good. Woo-hoo! I'm super impressed with this. It's great. I can learn with you, which is fabulous. Meeting people, networking, short trips. Thank you. Woo! Super exciting to have the interaction. Yeah. Excellent. Brothers, sisters. Yes. Oh, don't worry. You can get the, don't worry if you've missed some of it. It's all right. You can catch up easy because I'm doing keywords. So really, you can know all the houses with 36 words. 3 words for each. Short distance travel. Okay, great. Now, 4th house. All right, 4th house. So for the 4th house, I'm looking for at least 3 keywords. Go for it. I'm ready, guys. 4th house. Your roots, yes. Mother, moon, sensitivity, ancestry, stability, security. How you drive your car. I would have thought so. That's the 3rd house, cars. Home, early programming. Your house, your origins, your ancestry. Fantastic. The people you don't have the choice of being with. Hearth and home, family, real estate. Excellent, guys. Ancestor. It is a yin energy. Very good. Wow. I'm learning here. I'm going with you guys. But yes, can you see foundations? Right? So as property, security, building, construction would all come into that 4th house. Very, very good, guys. Yes. Okay. Your homeland, yes. And also would show whether you are comfortable in your home country and whether you are not, whether you are really dying to get away. The last days of your life, yes, very good. Old age, yes. The 4th house indicates how you're going to be in old age, very much, yes. Guys, excellent. Very, very good. But for beginners, home, family, roots. It's enough. Okay, you've got the basics. All right, let's go on to the 5th house. All right. Keywords, please, for the 5th house. Ready, ready, ready. I'm ready. Courage, gold, children, romance, creativity, enjoyment, fun, how you're happy, children. Excellent, 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 excellent. Fun, self-expression, creativity. Excellent, you got it. Romance, yeah, romance. Sex is the 8th. We're coming to that. Inspiration, creativity, absolutely. Hobbies. It can be education, yes. Thank you. Enjoyment. And if it's empty, it doesn't mean you're not enjoying. As I said, empty houses, don't worry about empty houses. They are, the ruler of the house is what's important. Royal food, that's very good. Royalty would be 5th house as well. Yes, very good. Very, very good. So artistic abilities. Bravery. Yes, although the 1st house is very brave. Yeah, planets in the 1st house are exceptionally brave. Excellent, guys. Love it. Now, 6th house. 6th house, keywords. I want your keywords. Let's have them. It's great when we're talking to each other like this because you're going to learn better. Service to others, habits, health, pets. Yes, pets, small animals. Body-mind connection, service, commitment, work, health, disease. Yes, very, very good. Very good. Yes, please would you press the like button. Thank you for those of you who are suggesting that. I appreciate it. The routines of work, your daily routines are 6th house. Yes, excellent, excellent. 6th house would not be debts. That would probably be the 8th house. Herbs, yes, herbs and potions and lotions. All of that are 6th house. Yes, excellent. Yeah, pets, great, guys. You've got the pets in there. Definitely 6th house. Love you. Doing real good here, all right? 7th house. 7th house, what's it about? Keywords, 3 keywords, that's all you need. And you've got the essence. Excellent, let's go for it. 7th house, yes, the 6th house is critical as well, true. Relationships, marriage, partnerships, business and personal. Equality, justice, very, very good. Enemies, yes, it does rule enemies. I come to that, yes, very good. Love, yes, appreciation of people. Committed relationships, absolutely. It would also rule contracts, yes, one-on-one contracts, yes. Different kinds of contracts. The 3rd house is contracts, the 4th house is property contracts, the 7th house is relationship type of contracts. Do the 12 houses represent the 12 months? That's complex. I have to answer that on a different video. Love, yes, legal matters to do with joint affairs. Well, that is also the 8th house. Cooperations. The 2nd marriage? No, the 2nd marriage is usually the 11th house. But that's another story. How you relate to other people. Balance. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. 8th house, guys. Keywords. What are the keywords for the 8th house? I know you're going to get this one for sure. This one you won't have forgotten. Death, transformation, sex, rebirth, other people's money, inheritances, trust. Excellent, excellent. Power, very good. Sexuality, taxes, inheritances, mysteries, hidden things, psychology. Excellent, guys. Excellent, excellent. It's really funny because YouTube is monitoring. People are saying sex and death, and they're hiding a lot of comments. It's really funny. It's obviously a hot word. I don't know, because it's not one that I usually type into the internet, but obviously a lot of people do. Passion, the deepest parts of you. Yeah, that's why it's so hidden. It would also rule mortgages and debts and sponsorships and grants, all those kinds of things. Personal power, yes, very good. Okay, guys, the 9th house. Keywords for the 9th house. 3 keywords. That's all I need. Yes, fears are the 8th house. 9th house. Study, travel, philosophy, growth, change, the law courts. Yes, excellent. Foreign travel. Yes, excellent, excellent. Travel, far away travels. Long distance travel. Higher education. Very, very good. Philosophy, higher learning. Excellent. Religion, yes, very good. You guys, you got it. So proud of you. It's really exciting to be working with you together. Beautiful. Yes, space, going out into space. Galaxies, ETs. I always think of the ETs in the 9th house somehow. Yeah. So, excellent. Somebody else is handling my moderation here. Okay. It's obviously a lot happening. I've no idea how many viewers have we got? It's not showing up on my screen. Is it showing up on yours, guys? How many people are online? Okay. So it was just that it felt like somebody took over my moderation here. Maybe the ETs just came through. Could be the Ps just playing around. They do that a lot. Okay. Now, 300 and something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's great. I love that you respond so quickly. Thank you. Okay. The 10th house. Keywords. 3 keywords. It's just the Ps. I'm sure it is. They're always playing around. So, 10th house, your reputation, your career, how you relate to the world, your social position, public persona, the farther it can, there's controversy about that, your ambitions, yes, your vocation, very much, your life goals, very good, how to be seen in the world, your status. It would also rule politics. Anything political is out in the 10th house. Authority, very good, guys. Yes, excellent. Yes, it's a power place. It's where you shine. Very good. Very, very good. Your destiny. There are other things that show destiny, but that would be part of it, yes. Yes, I will do a Q&A. Yes, Lucy. Not now, because we're going through houses, but I will do one. So now, the 11th house. The 11th house, 3 keywords at least. Let's hear it. Three keywords. Let's go for it. Thank you for feedback. Hopes and dreams. Very good. Friends. Brotherhood. Projects. The internet, guys. Community. Other people, communities. How we influence the world. Technology, yes, would come into the 3rd, the 6th, and the 11th. 3, 6, 11 are very technological houses. Humanitarian, yes, thank you. Long-term goals, dreams, wishes, groups, societies. Fabulous. Influential friends. Very good. Good. Good thinking, you guys. Very large organizations, yes. But also social media would come in here. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Excellent. Yes, the second marriage. The 12th house, guys. The 12th house. Let's have 3 keywords for the 12th house. Let's go for it. 12th house, keywords. So we need mental health, withdrawal from the world, very, very good. Everything that's hidden, prisons, hospitals, very good. Privacy, that's also the 8th house. Secrets, spirituality, past lives, very good. Past lives, dreams, very good, very, very good. Isolation, sleep. The next life, very good. Yes. Death, fading away. It's passing, fading. It's very passive. It would do research, psychology. Very good. Loneliness, yes, very much. Libraries, anything that involves research. Very good, you guys. Foreign lands would be the 9th. Hidden things. Psychic, the subconscious. Life before birth, very good. Wow, you guys. Addictions. Addictions, there's several places that addictions can appear, but they often appear the 8th, the 12th, but aspects to Pluto would also indicate addictions. Woo! Guys, this has been fantastic today. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm going to start doing some webinars soon. If any of you have got any ideas, is Zoom a good platform? Would you guys recommend Zoom? Or is live stream better? Or Be Live, I think it's called. I'll take some input from that, from you, if any of you have got experiences with that. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for being online with me. I love being with you. And I love your feedback. I love your comments. And from me to you, I will bring in the Pleiadians another time. It's 11:15 at night here, so I'm kind of gradually just getting ready to retire, go into that 12th house of sleep. But I'm sending you lots and lots of love. And thank you very, very much for being with me.